So good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. Are we recording already?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're discussing this afternoon managing references with Zotero. Uh, and the first question we're asking ourselves is, why should we use Zotero? I said earlier that it's a reference management software, and it's just one out of many. Another software that is very popular is Mendeley. You have EndNote and several others. Zotero is free, and so for me, that's a major reason why I like to use Zotero. And then you can create a library with Zotero online and offline. And what exactly do you mean by library? You can have a collection of scholarly works, a collection of articles, a collection even of books, documents, and you can keep that collection on your personal computer, and you can also keep it offline. If it is offline, that makes it possible for you to share that library with other users. Okay. Uh, that feature I don't use much, but I keep my library on my system on my personal computer. So because it is possible to have an online library, then it makes collaborative research easier. It means that members of a research team can have a common library. They can put all their documents together in one library to which all of them have access. Okay, so that way it aids collaborative research, which means that you don't have to duplicate effort, you don't have to keep uh, one document in different personal libraries if you have that library online and all the research team members have access to that library. Okay, so it is a tool that also makes your work faster, and it is simple to use, and it helps you achieve perfect referencing. And often researchers find it difficult to do referencing uh, in a perfect way or do it manually and achieve perfection. It's possible, but it's very difficult. There is always that likelihood that one comma somewhere will be missing, or one full stop, or somewhere that you should have used italics, you have not used italics. At least like the little things here and there. So it's difficult to reference perfectly if you're managing your references manually. But with the computer, you can be sure that the referencing can be perfect, provided you have supplied all the information needed to Zotero. Okay. And the good thing is that Zotero has access to all the major databases and public, and it also has access to the publication metadata. The implication is that you may not even, in some cases, you may not need to supply Zotero with information about maybe the article or the document you're storing in Zotero. Zotero has access to those major databases, and Zotero can naturally extract the metadata, the information about that publication. So if I bring in a publication to Zotero, Zotero can tell me that this publication, this is a 2022 publication, and this is the publisher, this is the journal, these are the these are the authors of that journal, and so on. Okay. And of course, there are several other things that you can do with Zotero. So now, how do you start? The first thing to do is to visit the Zotero page and download Zotero for Windows. And when you're doing that, you just need to go to www.zotero.org/download, and then you can get the document. If you copy this web address, then if you paste it, it takes you to it takes you to the Zotero page, the Zotero homepage, and then you can download Zotero for Windows. Okay, but when you do that, you'll download it and you'll install it. But when you're doing that, you should also, it will prompt you as you install. So don't forget to install Word plugin when you're installing. And then it's also important to install the connector, that is the Chrome connector. Once you install the Chrome connector and you're doing a search, for instance, online with Chrome, you will Chrome will be able to extract metadata, and it will be able to sync naturally with Zotero if you have the Chrome connector installed. So once you have done that, then this is what the Zotero, if you open Zotero, this is what the environment looks like. It has a very simple page, a very simple environment. And to your left, you'll see your library there. And then in your library, you can create several folders for maybe different topics or different themes. If you look at this, for instance, I did one study on data challenge. And so all the papers, all the articles, documents related to that topic, I brought into Zotero and stored in that file. I did another study on decolonization, or another one on decolonizing global health, and then I put different articles in those different files. Another one on humanitarian research, and it goes on and on like that. So in your library, you can create different folders for different topics, if you like, say different fields. Okay. So once you have created maybe a folder within your library and you want to add documents, there are different ways of adding documents. The first way is to add manually. If you want to add manually, you can use the green plus button at the top. That's what this arrow is showing there. So you can come to this point and click on this. That will help you to add manually. And then just beside that, if you choose to add by identifier, that is, if you have maybe the ISBN number of the document you want to add to your folder, to your library, or you have the DOI, the distinct object identifier, whatever can be used to identify a document. If you have that, you can copy it. You can click on this, and then you copy it and paste in the space that it offers you. Once you do that, Zotero can go online and do its search and then add that document. So the first way to add is to add manually. So if you click on the plus button, you will be able to add a document manually. The third way to add is to drag and drop, which means that if you open a folder, let us assume, for instance, that you already have the document on your system. That is, you have that article on your system and you want to add it to Zotero. So you open the Zotero window and you'll minimize it. Then you open another window where you have that document. Then you can click on the document and drag it and drop it. After you must have opened the folder into which you want to drop the document. So that's a third way to add a publication. And then the fourth one is to save directly from the browser. You remember that earlier we talked about the connector. So if you have done the right thing, if you have installed the Chrome connector while installing Zotero, then you will see somewhere around here, around this point, you will see you'll see a document sign there. At that point, okay, so the document can appear in many different ways, but that's where you get to, that's the button you will click for Zotero to save that particular document. So if I go online and I open a document, if Zotero has access to the database, you'll see that information that Zotero has access to that database, and then you can click on that icon there, and Zotero will save it directly to the folder that you have open in Zotero. Okay, so those are the ways of adding publications to Zotero. So like I said earlier, you can have different collections or different folders in your library. And it is a good way to organize your publication, the publications or the articles in your library. It's not good that you just dump all the articles together. It is ideal that you create collections or create folders so that things that are related to a particular topic you'll find in a particular folder or in a particular collection. Okay, so if you have brought in your documents properly, you will see, if it's a PDF document, for instance, you'll see this, you'll see this document sign, and below it, you'll see the folder, the PDF file added to it. So if you click on that button, that's we call that greater than sign. If you click on it, it will open up to show you what document you have attached to that particular heading. Okay, so these are names of different articles, and then the creator or the authors. The authors' names are captured around this area. These are the authors. And then to this side, you will see that the metadata will appear. So if it is a properly published document, once you bring it in, here you will see the type of item, whether it's a journal article, whether it's a book or a book chapter, or it's maybe a newspaper article or whatever. You'll see the different types there. But if it is an article that is not published by a known publisher, then this may be a little difficult. So you may have to add the information manually. Remember, we said earlier that it is possible to add information manually. So you can click on, for instance, you can click here to add the volume. You can click here to add the issue, the date, specifically the year. You can click here to add such information if Zotero is not able to capture the metadata of that document. Okay. So it's also good. You remember that earlier we had talked about the Word plugin. But if you don't have the Word plugin, then you can follow the steps to install the Word plugin. But if you have installed it already, it will just tell you to reinstall it. You need the Word plugin so that your word processor can communicate directly with Zotero. If you don't have the word plugin, if you don't install it, then your word processor will not be able to communicate with Zotero. And it is important that your word processor can communicate with Zotero. So if for whatever reason you're not you haven't been able, you failed to install the Word plugin, then you follow the steps. Come to Edit, click on Edit, and then select Preferences, then select Word Processors, and then say Install Microsoft Word add-in. Okay, so if you do that and you click OK, it will install your Word add-in so that your word processor can communicate with Zotero. So now if you go to Microsoft Word and you if you open Microsoft Word, you will see where you have file, home, insert, design, layout, and so on. At the top, you will also see Zotero if you have done the right thing. So Zotero appears at the top also. And then once Zotero appears at the top, then it means that you have installed that add-in successfully. Okay. So if you click on Zotero at the top, it will give you these options. So if you have these options, then it's possible to add citations using Zotero. So if you have read a particular article, you summarize maybe the key points of that article, and then you'll come to this point and say add citation. So if you click on add citation, it will allow you to maybe type or first it will ask you to choose the citation style, whether it is APA, Vancouver, Harvard, American Political Science Association, Chicago, and so on. The different types. So you will choose what you want, and then you can click OK. And once that is done, if you say, so that's how you will write your article. As you're writing, you are inserting the different authors whose ideas you're citing. And once that is done, at the end, you just come to your reference section and you click on Add Bibliography. So if you say Add Bibliography, it will provide information. It will prepare the references automatically. It is also possible to say, to change your style. And in fact, for me, this is the most beautiful feature that I'll say a reference manager offers. It helps you to switch between citation styles with ease. Those of us who have tried to publish will understand that it can be very difficult to switch from one referencing style to another. Very difficult, and sometimes it will take hours or even days to complete the process. But with Zotero and other reference managers, it is easy to do this in seconds. So let us assume that I have sent an article to a journal that uses the American Psychological Association style, referencing style, and that article is rejected, and then I am required to send it to another journal, that uses the numbering method. That is, references are numbered. So the first work cited will be numbered 1, and then the second one 2 and 3, and it goes on and on like that. Now, switching from APA to that style can be very, very difficult. Okay, but if you want to do that with this reference manager, all you need to do is click on Zotero and then come to document preferences. If you click on document preferences, it will offer you this dialog box, and it will allow you to select the new style. It will show you the style that you're currently using, and then it will allow you change. So you can decide to change to another style. And once you have indicated the new referencing style, you can click OK and then move on. So you'll see that in seconds, you can move from one style, APA, for instance, that will require that you arrange the references alphabetically. You can move very easily to the numbering style that requires that you number them as they appear in your work. Okay, and you can do this in seconds. Well, if you want to make this sort of transition in real life, doing it manually, you may be on it for several hours if you're a fast person. Well, and also depending on the volume of the documents you're dealing with. But you can be on it for several hours and sometimes for days. Okay, but you can do all of these in seconds. So that's the introduction to Zotero. I'll encourage you to go online, download Zotero, and then begin to use it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, are there questions? I think I should just open Zotero on my system. So you'll see, let me share my page with you. Okay, so this is, okay, so this is one collection. This collection is on monkeypox. And you can see, like I said, it is possible to go online and download a document. If you have a document on your computer, you can drag it, and then Zotero will pick it. And let me demonstrate that. Tell me one study that you're working on, for instance. Let me do a quick search. Please talk to me quickly so we don't.
Mental health.
Mental health.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm doing something now. Mental health awareness. I'm putting Nigeria. Let me put PDF. So let me see if I have access to this article. Mental health, Nigeria. Okay. Now, if you look at this, you'll see that what happened there? So I am clicking on this document so that I can download it. If you look at this place, you'll see, I don't know whether you can read what is appearing here, but I can see that Zotero has access to this web page. The implication is that if I download anything from here, Zotero has access to that database. Let me download these documents. Let me just call it Mental Health Nigeria. And I'm downloading it. So I have it on my system. Now, I'm going back to Zotero. Let me share my Zotero page. Can you see my Zotero page?
Yes, sir.
So I want to add a collection, and I want to call that collection Mental Health. Let's assume I'm doing a study on mental health. It has added mental health here, but you'll see that mental health is empty because I have not added any document. MPOX is not empty. Humanitarian research, not empty. Decolonizing global health, decolonization, not empty. Well, mental health. So I want to bring something to mental health. So I will minimize, I'll push that document to one side of my computer, and then I'm going to my downloads. Let me see if I can share the entire system. Okay, so this is what I'm doing now. So I have this window open, download. I downloaded this one. Can you see it?
Yes.
This is what I downloaded, mental health. Yes. So I am dragging mental health, that document here. As I dragged it, you'll see that all by itself, Zotero has populated this section. Did I have to type these things?
No.
No. So Zotero has provided the names of all those authors, the year, the volume, the name of the journal, and so on. So Zotero has done all of that. Okay. So now that I have it, if I have other articles, I can open this and read it. And then after reading it, I can bring the idea to my paper. Let us assume, for instance, that I am writing something on mental health. I can write a major source. I really haven't read that. I'm just making this up. A major source of mental health, uh, uh, mental illness in Nigeria is economic hardship. Now, I know that the person who wrote that, what's the name of that article? Who are the authors? Then, okay, so the name of the author is Hazan Wada. Now, if I remember just one name, then I can use it to do the search. I don't have to, or if I remember the name of the article or the name of the journal or whatever I remember about that article, I will type, and then Zotero will bring up all the things related to that. So here at the top, I'm going to click on Zotero and then say add. Okay, let us assume that I am using Vancouver. So I clicked on that and it gave me this small strap asking me to type what I'm looking for. I can't remember but I know there is one of them called Khalid. So I'm typing Khalid and it's bringing it out. Are we together? Now,
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
let us assume that this is about decolonizing global health. I don't know the name of the author. I don't know. I can't remember anything, but I can remember that the title contains decolonizing. So I'm going to type decolonizing. So it's bringing all the papers that have something to do with decolonize. It's bringing everything. So I can look through and choose which one I want. Oh, yes, this is the person who made the statement. I can choose it. And I can, okay, so this one uses numbers. I can still edit it if I want to add more, because it's possible that that statement is credited to more than one author. Oh, that article by Khalid also talks about it. So I'll put that. And then it says 1 and 2. And that's how I will continue with my writing. I'll be inserting all those names. Let me quickly show you. Okay, so this is an article I am currently working on. And that's what we have done here. We are putting, so we didn't put this manually. They were incited using, what do you call it? Zotero. So you go on and on like that. And then when you're done with your work, you will click on Zotero again and say add bibliography. If you say add bibliography, it will do all of this. Oh, I won't have to do this manually. If I have to do this manually, it will take hours. Okay, so this is how you use Zotero. Like I said, the beauty of this is I can switch from this style, for instance, to APA in seconds. Let us assume that I'm submitting this to a journal that says APA is the preferred referencing style. All I need to do is come to document preferences, and then you can see it's Vancouver. And I'll say referencing style, American Psychological Association, 7th edition. If I say, okay, so Zotero is working on that. And, okay, so let me see. Can you see that it has changed the references? It has reordered them alphabetically. And if you go to the text, you'll see that numbers are no longer used. It has moved everything to APA. You can see WHO 2022, and it has inserted names where ordinarily I would have had numbers. Initially, I had numbers in all those places. Okay, but it has changed all of this. And I'm not sure I waited for more than 5 seconds. 5 seconds to get this done. This is what takes people hours and sometimes days. Okay, so that's how you use the reference manager. It's a very effective, very efficient way of writing. It's far better than doing what you're doing manually. Okay, so, but I'm reverting back to Vancouver. Okay, so it's gone back. All in seconds. So, yeah. Tell me what you think. Do you have questions?
Yes, Dr. Michael. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for the. Yeah, Abiola Bolanewa is one talking. Can everyone hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead, Abiola.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Thank you so much. So, as you are explaining the Zotero application, I downloaded it and I tried to use it. I think it's fine, and I got some ways of using it. But the challenge that I have is that how did you put it inside your Word document? Inside the Microsoft Word, how did you put it inside? How did you put Zotero application inside it?
Yes, I mean, you have just confessed that when I was teaching you, you were also online looking for the software and trying to install it. Okay, which, well,
So
yeah,
just follow through as you
which
are
is,
explaining it, so I don't
yes, which is a good thing. So you missed something. You're pardoned. So while installing, you will install that Word add-on. There is this Word that is Microsoft Word add-on. And that's that's the point I was making here. That while installing, you'll download and you will install. It will, at a point, to ask you whether you want to install the Word plugin. If you don't choose that option, it will not install it. But if you miss it and you don't install it, then you may need to do that after installing Zotero. And the only thing you just need to go to edit, choose preferences. So if you come to edit, you'll see preferences at the bottom. And if you select preferences, then you can select word processors. You'll see styles and word processors. If you choose word processors, you can now say install Microsoft Word add-in. I don't know whether you can see that.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm not seeing what processor here, but I got to edit preferences.
Yes. What
Yeah,
can
I'm
you see?
seeing password, username, data science, syncing, username, password. I'm saying general, search, export, site, and advanced.
Okay, below that, can you see styles?
Styles.
Below general, sync, search, export, site, advanced. What do you see below that?
I'm only seeing OK, cancel L.
That's down, down, but up,
Okay.
up, just below general, sync, search. Do you see, can you see anything?
Okay. Should I click on sync or the general?
No, below. You click on sites.
Site. Okay. Sites.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. What processors? Okay. Oh, I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that way you can install the word adding. So once you
Okay.
have your word adding installed, then it connects with your word processor. It can communicate with your word processor. If you do that, then once you open your MS Word, you should see Zotero. Okay,
Yeah.
just
Yes,
take your
sir.
time. Just take your time, go through it carefully, step by step, and you should be fine.
Okay, sir. I will. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, are there other questions? So my appeal to you, don't do your referencing manually. If you do so, you'll shortchange yourself, you'll cheat yourself, you'll make your work more difficult, and you'll make it less acceptable. Okay. Any other comments?
Yes, sir. Good
Yeah.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Essay Bazunu on the line, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful lecture, sir. I've really learned a lot on how to make life easy when referencing materials. But I just want to ask, sir, that supposing the source of the information is from a blog that that doesn't really that is not a file, it's not a PDF file, it's not a publication that we can really.
Okay, let us do a quick search. Let's try. Let me share my let's do some practical and see what's out there. Let us assume that there is a blog, for instance. I don't know. Do you know any blog you want us to visit? Let's see what happens.
We can visit SHROM.
SHRM.
Yes.
Okay. Society for Human Resource Management, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm visiting SHRM and I am here now. Okay, I am coming here. I don't know whether you can read what I have. What information I am getting from the Chrome connector. It says Zotero has access to this site. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
So I can just click on this. When I click on this, it's telling me that it is saving to mental health. It is saving to mental health because mental health is the last collection I opened. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So it is saving the information here, these snapshots to Zotero. Now that message has disappeared, so the saving should be over now. Let me go there. Let me go to Zotero and open mental health. So I'm coming to Zotero and I'm opening a wrong document, sorry, a wrong folder. Okay, so this is mental health. Can you see that it has put something there?
Yeah.
Okay, and was the article, was Zotero able to extract metadata from that site?
Yes.
Yes, it was able to. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
But it does not, okay, but it couldn't get the name of the author. So in this case, you can now put the name of the author of that article. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So let us assume the last name of this author. I've not taken time to read through. If I read through, I'll get the name of the author. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
And the author may even be SHRM. I don't know, but we won't have time to go into all of that. Let us assume that that author is Bazuno. The first name is SA. Okay. So when writing, we'll say this is not a good idea. Who said that? It's Bazuno. So we will click on this and let me type BAZ. Oh, Zotero can see it. BAZ 2003.
Wow.
2023. So if at the end of the day I want to put all my references, I'll say references here and say add bibliography. It has put all of them there. Can we see this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can.
So this is how Zotero works. This is how it reduces the work of 2-3 days to say 2-3 minutes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. So is there any other thing you think we should address on this topic?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I don't have a second. Yes, sir. Okay, so it's a follow-up question from the last explanation.
Okay.
I would like to find out how can we reference manually without having a software to do that? That's number one. Then two, is it also possible to use the software or manually to reference from, let's say, a Wikipedia or any Google search, apart from an article or a blog?
Yes, it is possible to reference manually. If you have read an article and you want to reference it manually, first you must know how referencing is done in a particular style. For instance, if I want to reference using APA 6th edition, you must put the name of the author, then that is the last name, you put a comma, then you put the initials, and then you put in brackets the year, and you put a full stop, then you put the title. So every referencing style has its a way, things you should do, things they expect you not to do. Okay, and there are so many referencing styles, and the truth is it will be difficult for you to keep in your head the different styles. Okay, so what researchers or what writers do is, depending on who they're writing for, who is publishing it, what referencing style is to be used, they will need to study that referencing style and then use it for that particular purpose. So it is possible to reference manually. You can say, this is how to reference manually. You type like this, Ibikunle BC, and then you put 2023, put a full stop, put the title. The title of the article is How to Reference Manually. Then I'll put the name of the journal, International Journal of IT Deficiency. Well, in APA, they will expect you to put the name of the journal in italics and all of that, all those funny things. And you put the keywords, the major words in capitals. In fact, I'm not even sure I know all those rules in my head. Then you put volume, the volume number 2, 1, volume 2, number 1, something like that. I can't even remember now whether it is in italics or it should stand straight. Then you put the page 25 to 34, something like that. Okay? But like I said, I can't keep all of these details in my head. But if I tell Zotero to do the referencing for me, Zotero will do it perfectly. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
I am wondering why you are interested in manual referencing.
Well, there was a time I was trying to reference a particular write-up, and I didn't have any software to do that, and I couldn't get the author as well. So I went to meet someone. So the person told me that you can actually reference articles or other write-up that is not manual, that is not referenced. I don't have a way to reference this. You can do it manually. So I thought to ask a question. How do I do that?
No, if you want to reference anything manually, you must have all those details. You must know the name of the author. There's no way you will not know the name of the author. So you'll need to, because you need to type out the name of the author, the year of the publication, and all this you must do manually. But you'll see that with the references, with what we did here, what we demonstrated, I did